Hello, biologists. Today, we're exploring a key question in science. What makes something living? By the end of this video, you'll be able to list the characteristics of living organisms and confidently classify objects as living or non-living, just like scientists do. Now, let's start by our main question. What makes something a living thing? There are 7 characteristics that need to be present to classify an object as a living thing. Those characteristics are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion and nutrition. Scientists use MRS GREN to remember the 7 life processes that all living organisms share. Let's break it down. First characteristic is movement. Movement is defined as the change in place or position. All organisms can move, even plant can bend towards the light. Respiration is the breakdown of food molecules inside the cell to release energy. A common mistake that many students make is that they assume that respiration and breathing are the same thing. Respiration is a chemical process that takes place inside all cells and is a living characteristic, while breathing is a physical process of inhaling and exhaling. Breathing is not a living characteristic. Energy released from respiration are used in various ways. Muscle contraction, nerve impulses and cell division are examples on why energy is needed by the body. Sensitivity is defined as the ability in both detecting and responding to the changes that occur internally and externally. The change that occurs may be referred to as stimuli. In animals, sensitivity is related to the sense organs and there are connection to the nervous system by special cells called nerves. The eyes respond to light, the nose respond to smell, the ears respond to sound, and the skin respond to touch, pressure, temperature and pain. Growth is the permanent increase in size and mass. Reproduction is the process of making more of the same kind. Excretion is the process of getting rid of waste materials. There are 3 excretory organs in the body: the kidneys, which get rid of urine and its contents, the lungs, which get rid of carbon dioxide, and the skin, which get rid of sweat. Nutrition is the process of taking in food. Plants and animals have different mechanisms of nutrition. Plants undergo a process known as photosynthesis to make their own food, while animals rely on external sources to feed and they use their digestive system to do so. Now you are ready to answer some questions. Complete the sentences from the words below. This exercise is about the 7 life processes, often summarized by the acronym MRS GREN. These are the characteristics that all living organisms share: movement, respiration, sensitivity, nutrition, excretion, reproduction, growth. The sentences need to be completed using the provided words, which are all related to these processes. 1. Another word for taking in feeding is nutrition. Nutrition is the process of taking in and using food for energy and growth. 2. Polar bears can sense things in their environment. For example, with their nose they can sense smell. Sensitivity is the ability to detect changes in the environment. The sense of smell is one way animals do this. 3. All living organisms excrete waste substances. Animals excrete carbon dioxide when they breathe out. Excretion is the removal of waste from the body. Carbon dioxide is a waste gas produced by respiration and is excreted when an animal breathes out. Place a tick in 2 boxes to show the characteristics of all living organisms. This question asks you to identify which 2 options from the list are characteristics of all living organisms. The key is that every single living thing, from a giant tree to a tiny bacterium, must perform these processes. Let's evaluate each option. Breathing, not universal. Breathing using lungs is specific to animals. Plants and microorganisms don't breathe, but they do perform respiration, a chemical process, which is different. Eating, not universal. Animals eat, but plants make their own food through photosynthesis. The universal characteristic is nutrition, which is not the same as eating. Growing, universal. All living things increase in size or mass at some point in their life. Moving, Universal. Animals move from place to place. Plants move by growing towards light. Even microorganisms move, for example bacteria using flagella. The key is that all living things show some form of movement. Sleeping. Not universal. This is a behavior specific to some animals, not a fundamental life process for all organisms. Talking. Not universal. This is a complex form of communication specific to humans and some animals. The two correct boxes to tick are growing, moving.